on the deck. I'm gonna get something set up here. A little chain sharpening action going on, maybe a little bit. See if we can get this lined out. What's going on, man? I ordered a new chain sharpening tool off of Amazon, and I wanted to give it a shot. I know this is supposed to be done a certain way, and I'm not quite sure how to do it yet, but we're going to figure it out. I know. Good morning. Let's do it like this. And I know once you get it where you want it. Yeah, I use the chainsaw file too, man. It's just something new that I wanted to try and give it a go. I know how everybody's got their thing, but it's just something new, like I said, and it's supposed to be more precise. So I also use a file. See, that comes down and catches that right there and stops it. And then you're supposed to be able to, let's see here. I think you're supposed to be able to pick this up some. I don't even have any idea what your question was. I got to go back and look. There it is. I'm trying to figure out exactly what angle it's supposed to be on. You got to adjust it how you want it. So there's this file that inserts into this handle, and you got this Allen key locking. What do you want me to do about the whole thinking it was an ad thing? I don't know what to do. Yeah, I did. I burnt both my hands, man. I burnt this hand, and I burnt this hand here working on an exhaust manifold, catalytic converter assembly. I gotta go back to what JR. If I have to go back in 2024 Fusion with a 5 problem now, it don't move. What are you trying to say? The engine don't move? Good morning. And what you do with this file is you take it and you stick it through the back part right here. And then you gotta try to adjust. There we go. And then this has to be lowered down on top of it. I think, right? Something like that right there. You gotta lock it down. You gotta adjust the tooth out of the way. You full of all kind of complaints this morning, huh? The bulb mechanic. I Thought it was an ad. I wasn't gonna click. Now you tell me your audio's messed up. I don't like it. Oh man. Guess I'm in for a shocker today. And I think this head guide has to go up against her real lightly. And then what you got to do is this here adjusts the pressure of, I think, how the chain pushes in it. Yeah, there you go. And then you use this to adjust the chain forward and back. And this you can back off just a hair. And once you stop cutting, theoretically, that's supposed to be filed perfect. Let's check it and find out. Get a feel for it if it did its job. Oh yeah, that's sharp. That's real sharp. Ouch. Oh, it's sharp, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. This is supposed to be to where you set it just above where the teeth are at. Front, it's not quite where it needs to be. Move the little chain piece over some. Put that right there. You know what? This is supposed to be back here. And then this pushes the chain forward and back to get it exactly where you need it. If you need to adjust a little bit forward, a little bit back. So this, you can go ahead and pull back this way, and you can get both angles while you're there. And while you're trying to work the file in there, you can take this and drive it back forward so it pushes your chain back where it needs to go. That would be right there. And then you take this file, put a little bit more pressure on it, with this little knob right here, and pushes the chain up against it more, and it starts cutting. It's got a nice little taper to it, so as you're cutting, you can actually make it exactly the way you need it. And then back it off, undo your pressure a little bit, go to the next link. I'm sure I'm doing something harder than what it has to be here. Let's pull it out and see what it looks like, what it feels like here. Oh yeah, that's sharp. Yeah, it's sharp, all right. This here supposed to fit in here a certain way and meet that angle. The angle of the dangle, the commotion in the ocean. I'll put that there. Adjust my tension knobs here. And there we go. I can see it filing off the imperfections on the teeth right where it's at. And it don't take very much. Stop, back it off, take your tool out, go to the next one. Readjust your tool to where you want it. You do both angles from the same side. Screw this back here. Take your file, put it in there. I want the chain more forward, so then I'll take this and I'll adjust my chain more forward until my file meets where I need, and there it is. And then I can see the chain, I can see the file cutting the imperfections inside that tooth, taking the imperfections out of that tooth, I should say. Okay, back off, take my adjustment here back off, take this here back off, pull through my next link. I know my next link is going to be somewhere in there, and I readjust my file here. Go back to the other side, let it push my chain where it needs to be. Call that good, right? A little bit more. Call that good. Back it off. Oh yeah, it's nice and sharp. Go ahead and run my chain forward. Back it up again. Adjust my adjustment knob. Right there. Like this. Oh yeah, you can see how it just starts cutting those imperfections away, trying to make them perfect as you're doing this. That's pretty dang neat how that happens. Do you guys see that? Do you see how it's working? And then you back it off, take your file out, go into the next link, back it up to where you want it, adjust your tab so it pushes it with the alignment hole. Take your file, put it back in there. I'll run that out and see. I'm gonna do that spot again. Here we are. And back it up. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, might be. I might be. Might be done in a day or two. I wonder if I could take this apparatus and do this, use the regular file in this hole. They actually have professional ones that are like this too. I think they're called Timberline, but they're like, yeah, we all, bro, we all know the whole file on the end of it. We all do that. This is just a new tool. That's all it is. Everybody's, man, I don't know about all that. You know, I just use a file. We know. I do too. I'm no different than you guys are. I see new stuff and I'm like, ooh, shiny. I gotta try it out. And if it works better, well, then it's changed my mind. It works better. And if once I got the hang of it, it probably would not take me that long. This would probably only take me about 10 minutes to do it. And they have electronic ones too that you can use. Oh yeah, that's sharp. I mean, it's making every one of the teeth perfect because it's cut at the perfect angle. Morning. Okay, what does that have to do with me? Good morning.
Good morning. Inside.
Oh yeah, she's sharp. Tis the season, baby. A lot of times when I do this, I don't even use a gauge or anything. I've just been filing them so long now that I can do it without. But yesterday, when I was out at this property helping these people cut up this tree, um, there were some hollow spots in the wood that were rotten, and I didn't know that. And when I got down inside there cutting, it really damaged the blade. I'm not the one that felled the tree, so I wasn't sure exactly what was going on with it and what condition it was in. And then right towards the end of me doing some of the video stuff for the chainsaws, the main tree company that felled the tree came out, and they were like, "Oh, what's going on?" And I was like, "I don't know. These people said they wanted the tree cut up. They thought you guys forgot about them and weren't coming back, and they wanted out of their yard. So they were asking people in the community for some help. Come get the tree if you want wood, free wood, you know, kind of thing." And I asked the dude, I was like, "What do you guys do with the tree?" And he said, "We just take it to somebody else, and we let them dispose of it, turn it into mulch, whatever it is that they do. We don't actually keep the tree and do anything with it because our operation is not big enough to do that. And plus, it's not really lucrative, you know, kind of thing." So that stuff that was in the tree really did a number on this saw. The, what would you call it, the ground up leaves and the compost that was inside there from squirrels and stuff building nests. And when I cut through that with this chain, because this chain was blazing through that stuff, no problem at all. But when I cut through that, it really ruined this chain. I should have been paying attention more than what I was. The company came and they helped finish picking everything up with a big giant crane. They got a Peterbilt box truck with a big hydraulic crane on the back of it, and they were picking up like half the freaking tree in one swipe, and it was a big ass giant tree that they cut down that had, it's probably every bit of 50 to 75 years old or more, and it was just huge. And yeah, they came out, they cut it down, or they finished picking it up with me, and some neighbors came by. They wanted to get a little bit of the wood, so they came by and got some of the wood. We seen an ad pop up on Facebook that somebody wanted some help getting it out of there, and they were giving away free wood. So I figured that, hey, that's the perfect opportunity to go see what these saws can do. So I did. I ran with it. And honestly, the MS250 is the best saw overall, but the most powerful grunt, like work saw, I have to say is my 028 or um, the Timberwolf from Echo, the 59cc one. Man, that motherfucker is a, excuse my language, that just popped out. I get excited about that saw. It's a beast. It's powerful. It doesn't have high RPM, so I find it more safe, but it is powerful. It will do the grunt work the other saws won't do, just because of the amount of power it makes. The most manageable saw and the best one overall out of the whole group is the MS250. That's the one Project Firm recommended, and he was spot on with the recommendation on that. It is a nasty, nasty saw, but it's because of the RPM at what it operates in. It operates in a very, very high RPM. Audio is cutting. I don't know what to tell you guys. Let's try this. How about now? How's the audio now? I mean, I could shut it down and restart it again just to see. I'm almost done here. Got a couple more to go, but I'm almost done. And then I'll be able to focus more on questions and stuff. Yeah, I don't know what to do about it right now. There's nothing I can do about it right now, fellas. All I can do is shut it down and restart it. That's it. get like 4 or 5 different files with these. So they give you backups because they know you're going to wear them out. There's like a diamond material that's on the file. I wonder if we can see if we can do some of it. I guess it's not that far off. It's about 9 more links here. Thought I was closer than what I was. Oops. Sorry. I thought I was a lot closer than what I was. I guess I'm further off than what I thought I was. Maybe if this would be an electronic operation where there's like, you know, you mount it on here and you had an electronic deal that you can push in and out and then go to the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one. That would be really cool. But the fact that you have to manually sit here I'm trying to turn it up a little bit here. Let's go to the next one. Adjust it. Try to go a little faster. So I'm standing up now instead of sitting down. Okay. Next one. Next one. Next one. So it's 1, 2, 3 more. There we go. Okay. Okay. And I think this is the last one. Yeah, this is the last one. This chain is freaking sharp now, man. You can feel very, very, very sharp. That was the last one. I mean, if it's like, you know, like this steel where it's something critical, you know, it's like one of the higher end, higher dollar saws. Yeah, I'm gonna. You there's a reservoir in the chainsaw here on the other side that oils the chain drive, but then there's actually in a lot of these a hole where you can grease them up here on the bar, but on this one here it doesn't have the grease point.
Hi, Daddy.
And then Mom's coming back and then we're going, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Love you. Hey, shake off the nerves, baby. You're gonna do good.
Yep. Come on, Jack.
Some of them have a grease spot up here where you can squirt some grease in this front sprocket. Just like I don't know what they call it, what the proper term is for it, but the main grease tank is actually up in the front of this here, or oil, I should say. Let's see if I can fire this thing up real quick. These, they start different. It's got like a choke lever here on the bottom where you got to pull the trigger in, push the lever all the way down to the bottom, and then you can fire it. Then once it gets started, it'll be sitting on the half soak. Once you pull the trigger, it'll bump up the run. She's cold, baby, she's cold. And probably out of gas. I gotta go put some gas in it real quick. She's cutting good. Cutting real good. Let me see if I can make a difference. I don't know if I can, but we'll see. Actually, yeah, quite a bit difference. I think what the tool did is the tool shaping it up a little bit, but using a hand file really defines the cut. So I found with the file up in the void, like up in the corner, it doesn't quite get all the way up in the corner of the tooth. I mean, with the bridge file that I was using. There was a few of them where the teeth were not cleaned up in the corners. I'll show you guys. Like where the corners come up and around, that file wasn't quite getting in those. It wasn't quite getting up in the corners all the way to clean them up. Come on. So I had to take the hand file and get up in those corners more to clean out those corners because that tool wasn't getting in there. And now it just feels really, really sharp. Oh, okay. Now that those shenanigans are done, what's up? It's about, I think it's like 45 here today. It said it was gonna be like a high of, what did they say the temperature was today? See if I can. I guess they say it's 50 right now where I'm at here in my town. Yeah, 50 degrees. Y'all got any automotive related questions you want touched on? Or are we just hanging out? Sorry about the whole saw thing. I had to get that done. I thought it was going to be faster than that. I didn't know I was going to spend most of my live stream time fooling around with a saw. PL 430 air on my 16 F-150 3.5 EcoBoost. I've already changed the plugs and cleaned the MAF sensors to try to get it to go away, but it keeps coming back at the input. Yeah, you got a bad catalytic converter. Cleaning the mass airflow and stuff like that is going to make it run better or something to that extent, and maybe the plugs and but either you got a bad cat or you got bad oxygen sensors. I would have not suspected plugs and mass airflow and stuff like that until I actually looked at your short-term and long-term fuel trims. Yeah, you probably got a bad cat, man, or something wrong with the O2 sensor wires, making the computer think that the cat's not doing its job. And on yours, 420s on the passenger side, 430s on the driver's side. Will a drive shaft damage a rear differential? Yeah, it can. If it starts to come apart or become unbalanced, it can mess up the transmission, it can mess up the differential. Somebody in the neighborhood, not my direct neighbor, a tree cutting company came and cut the tree down and didn't tell them that they were going to come back the next day to clean it up. So they thought that the company blew them off, and that wasn't the case. They didn't have the big truck to come pick up the tree. They used a big giant box Peterbilt with a crane on the back of it to pick up the big tree, and they couldn't get the tree out there until later that day. So the people put it on Facebook saying, hey, if anybody wants to come get this tree, they can come get it. But when I was in the middle of cutting everything up, helping some people come by from the community that once wanted some of the wood, the actual tree service came by and started picking it up with the crane. He was picking up big giant, like 10-foot sections where the tree was like 2 foot wide or whatever plus, and just 3 or 4 big giant pieces at a time. Yeah, it could be. Margot, it could be a loose yoke, loose U-joint, something like that, slopping around, the drive shaft slopping around. Oh yeah, definitely damaged the transmission and the rear end. Lincoln MKS, my back doors are not closing as smooth as my front doors. What would be some good grease to lube them? I don't know. Most people just use some white lithium grease, some Vaseline or something like that around the rubber during the winter time, and white lithium grease in the latches, or you can use some of they got different sprays that. What are you doing? Drop it. '95 Hot Odyssey won't start. Sometimes once it does, it runs perfect. Ooh. Something with the timing loose on that? Uh, did you have to adjust the valves on those Odysseys? Because I know some of the older Hondas, you had to adjust the valves every so often. Because we get them in every once in a while, they start running like crap and not wanting to start and stuff, and then we got to do a valve adjustment, and then all of a sudden they run like brand new. I don't know. I don't do a lot of Hondas. I really don't. I wish I could tell you more about it. I know they burn oil. That's for sure. No, I never got that call. But I probably won't because my Ford dealer got shut down. You upstairs? Hey. Hello? Oh. Oh, about an hour. An hour to do a real good clean job. If it's a big vehicle, it could be an hour and a half to 2 hours. If I'm doing an extra deep job, like in channel, in frame, in chassis, and everything, the price doubles, and it will take about an hour and a half to 2 hours. But if people just want the general protection, like hurry up quick in and out of all the holes and spray everything underneath the suspension stuff down, it's my prices are going to have to go up because I'm like giving. I'm not really making it's as a promotional. I'm just doing it as a promotional right now to kind of get the word out there that I do it, that our shop does do it. But we're almost giving it away because if you think about it, a gallon of that stuff costs about 50-60 bucks, right? And if I'm doing just the general vehicle, um, at let's just say half a gallon of that stuff, $25 my cost. It should be more to the customer theoretically. It should be about $50 to the customer for that half gallon. That's just retail price for something like that. And then take into account the hour of labor. It should be at minimum $200 to do the job, but I'm doing it at $150 right now, so I'm losing a little bit. No, we've not done a pre-oiler or accumulator in a vehicle. We've never had the opportunity to do it. The Yeah, the newest ones, the Gen 3 phaser seem to be pretty good. They seem to work pretty good. Hello, Ryan. We're about to go to cheerleading competition, some kind of tournament. I'm about to go upstairs and change real quick and get ready to go because I have to leave here in an hour. I ain't even ready. I gotta go put the chainsaw away. I gotta put the tools and stuff away. Whew. Uh, Oklahoma. You know what? I've been bit by the cheap cats. I'm not gonna say I haven't gotten lucky before because I have got lucky, but I've been bitten by the cheap catalytic converters. Margot asked, "How often do you sharpen it?" That chain went right out of the box about 20 cuts. I mean, 20 real good cuts without sharpening it. So I don't know if that's like normal or not, but it did good. It didn't, and it would have kept going if I hadn't got into that nastied out hollow spot in that tree where it was all with the leaves and everything else started to turn to dirt inside that tree, and then it fouled out the chain. What is it that I do? I'm well, I'm a shop. I'm not sure what part you're asking. Like, what is it that I do? What work do we perform at the shop? We work on everything at the shop. If that's what you're asking. I mean, we even work on Class 8 trucks that roll in there. We got semis parked out in the lot sometimes. We're doing brake work on them, oil changes, servicing the air conditioning. Um, my first, I mean, I hate to say this. I hate to think of it this way. Margot, are you male or female? And what is your strength like? I try water wetter. I've tried it before, but I don't really know. Like I don't know. I've never really noticed that much of a difference. I don't want to assume Margot gender or whatever, but that's why I'm asking. There's a specific approach I take whenever I'm showing like a man versus a woman with a chainsaw. And the reason I say that is because there are some precautionaries that, like my little girl, whenever I have her out there and I had her fire up the saw yesterday with me. Um, Margot is AI. You know Margot's AI. Margot, are you male or female? And do you get startled and jitter? Do you get jittery? Not jittery, but do you get startled real quick? Because like I was saying, my daughter, I took her out there and I had her fire up the little Echo 39. Answered above, female? No, I didn't see nothing answered above. Did you? Yeah, I don't see nothing answered above about you. So it ain't on my end. It didn't show up on the screen. Um, so when I took my girl out there and I was having her, she gets real jumpy real quick. So I had to pick something that was a lower CC and easier for her to start so she could get the hang of it. And I noticed with her that I could slowly increase the size of the saw and she would go to something a little bigger, something a little bigger, something a little bigger, and she got more comfortable that way. Where, you know, the neighbor's kid across the street, roll tide. My daddy's from Alabama. He's from Haleyville, Alabama. Um, well, I have my mom and my foster mother and father here that raised me. But my birth dad, I should say, he's from Alabama. He's from up, I think it was the northwest corner of Alabama, Haleyville. Um, yeah. Anyhow, the neighbor's kid across the street, I could put him on one of those bigger saws right away, and he could handle it pretty good. It just all depends on your comfort zone with sounds and understanding a saw. Like a lot of people think that because they see me wearing Crocs in a video and shorts and stuff like that, oh, this guy don't know what he's doing. I know what I'm doing. I just choose to be lazy. That's the problem. I've been around a saw for quite a while. I'm by no means a professional at all, but there are certain things that you got to watch out for, like kickback, the way the wood's going to roll when you're cutting it, safety. Like I won't fell a tree. I'll cut wood and I will process it for however it needs to be processed, but I won't fell a tree just because I don't have enough experience doing that. And I would much rather have a professional with me um, working than anything. And yeah, the saw chaps, that that's a thing too. There's a couple times where I've seen people make some pretty bad mistakes with a saw. My first time making a mistake with a saw cost me about $4,000 worth of damage. I There was a tree next to my house that had been dead for years and years and years, and I was renting this house on this property. And we it went up straight, and then it kind of leaned back towards the house, then it leaned back away, and then it went up, and then it kind of leaned back towards the house a little bit. So what we did was we took a truck with a rope and we tied it up about 40 feet or so up in the air to the tree to try to kind of pull it towards the truck a little bit. And we hooked it up to the hitch of the truck and we were kind of pulling to give it a little. But that tree was so damn big, man. The tree, I bet you that tree was twice the height of my tree out here behind the house. Not as girthy as this tree out here, but twice as tall out there in the country where all the sunlight and rain and everything just gets to it all the time. And when we cut it down and we were pulling a little bit with the truck, it didn't matter. The tree, well, even though we notched it on the front side going out towards the field, when we cut it instead of cutting it straight into the notch, we cut it kind of like on an angle down into the notch, thinking that if we had something for it to, it wouldn't kick back and kick up if it when it was going down. And me and my buddies, when we cut that notch into it and it went to fall forward towards the truck, and then it kind of came back and it turned around and rocking chaired right into the house, right over the corner of the house. But luckily the tree was so dead that when it hit the house, it didn't do like a massive amount of damage. It just turned to powder all over the corner of the house, all over the backyard, all over next to the house, and big giant, like 4 to 8 foot pieces of just rotten tree everywhere. Took me like weeks to clean everything up, and then I immediately went over to my buddy's house, and I was like, uh, I screwed up. He's a contractor, so he builds homes and stuff like that in his spare time whenever he's not out like welding. He's a union welder, and he travels to all the piping or the pumping stations that they put in for like oil and all this other stuff. And he has a big trailer. It's like a 30-foot long trailer that's outfitted with nothing but DeWalt, everything that you could possibly want, saws, tables, brakes. It doesn't matter what it is. And he was like, "Oh shoot, to fix the corner of this roof and the garage and everything else, and rebuild everything and make sure that we get the same siding." And I mean, you're probably talking close to 4 grand because we're gonna have to replace all the lower half of the backside of the roof, the wood that goes down, all that wood's got to get replaced. The reinforcements for the roof got to be replaced. The siding around the back has to be replaced, and the side of the house has to be replaced, and the wood where it broke into and stuff on both corners has to be replaced. I mean, we're gonna be here for a couple days doing this. So he said if you got about 4 grand, I mean, we can rip through this real quick and just rebuild everything better than what it was. But I need about 4 grand. So I went and got it $4,000 and gave it to him, and he knocked it out. He knocked it out in about 2 days. Put the same siding back up. Put better trusses and stuff in the garage roof. Reshingled the backside of the garage, and put all new gutters and stuff so the landlord didn't have to do. I made sure that the landlord didn't have to come in and do anything to that house. That I did everything because of the stupid mistake that I made. It was a lesson learned, and the lesson to me was if it's ever close to a house ever again, I'll never cut down a tree. Never again close to a house. Out in the field or something like that, or away from a house where I got plenty of clearance, yeah, I'm a little bit more experienced now and I've learned my lessons, but still, when I get close to a house because of that one incident, I'm terrified now. It really messed with my head. Yeah, but I had the damn tree. I got it was a $4,000. It was a $4,000 failure. Lesson learned, huh? Yeah, that hurt. That hurt pretty dang bad, man. Yeah, and I wish I would have had. And when I was talking to some of the local guys in the area, they said what your first mistake was you tried to cut that tree down without trimming the top of it first. Most of us would have had somebody go up there with a tree that tall and that top heavy. We would have had somebody go up there and trim a lot of that down and knock a lot of it down to the ground so it wasn't so top heavy wanting to pull that way. That would have all got trimmed out up there, and then the first like or the top like 10 or 20 feet would have got knocked off. When do you vote for different city officials? I don't know. I think it's coming up. How's the Grand Marquis? It's all right. I mean, it's the internals of the trains and stuff are done. I'm at the front pump now, but I haven't made any progress on it because I've just since I've come back from all the training and stuff and all the like the trips away, I'm focusing on I've put my own stuff like aside right now and I'm not focused on any of my own stuff. I'm focusing on building the business right now. So all the online stuff, getting logos and stuff made. I just ordered a bunch of t-shirts to see if the employees and stuff like the new design for the t-shirts. I branded our invoices and stuff now with our logo, and then I'm working with the online companies and Shop Genie. They're building our website and stuff, and we're going to be working together next week on that. Marketing stuff. Trying to figure out putting out flyers and stuff to the community around Brighton Park on oil change specials, alignment specials, and stuff, brake specials that we're going to have going on. um, for people only in that community that get those flyers. Um, Trying to just tailor our business to do better for our community right now. It's just trying to build up as much as we possibly can to just grow the business and grow our relationship with our customers right now is what I'm focusing on. Yeah. Did you auction off the town car yet? No, no, it's still out there. I still have it. 100,000. That's when we're gonna do it. And it's pretty solid now. There's nothing wrong with that car at all now. The front cover on the engine's starting to leak a little bit again, but that was several years ago when I resealed most of it. But it's gonna go the way it is. I'm gonna. It's so slow that you don't really notice the oil lowering. I mean, but it's a used car too, though. So however, whoever gets it the way it is. It's just a damn good car. It just runs good. I took it out yesterday when I went to. Was I dropping the little one off? I was doing something yesterday with the little one, and no, it wasn't her. Oh, I went to go pick up breakfast yesterday for Veterans Day. Yeah, so my buddy bought the shop about 14 months ago, and I bought into it whenever the dealership was closing down with him about 8 months ago. So me and him run the business together now, and I'm one of the investors. So he lets me run the show, kind of steer the ship, kind of thing. He's the main owner, uh, but now that I have money involved and invested in the company and stuff like that, we both share the responsibility of running the company. And he really trusts me with the customers and with the company and stuff in general. So he just turns it over to me and says, just do what you want to do, man. I trust you. You're my best friend, and you always do the customers right. So have at it. Let's get it done, and you can steer the ship. So that's what's going on now. He was having some problems with it because of his language barrier, and he's a really good tech, excellent tech. It's just hard sometimes for somebody that's been in the field as a tech so long to run a company by themselves because the communication skills, the customer service skills and stuff may not completely be there. So he's trying to develop and actually work on that himself, and he's getting much better as he progresses as well. So just a good fit. Me and him running it. We came in, we dumped another 200 and some $1,000 into the business, put new lifts, alignment rack, tire balancer, uh, tire installer and stuff. There was a lot of things that they didn't have there that we do have now, and there's services that we offer now that they didn't offer before. Nope, I didn't. I've been busy too. I didn't even get around to. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of people in the community don't know that it's not new or that it's under new ownership. So a lot of the people are shocked when they come in there. They're like, "Hey, where's the old man that used to be here?" And I'm like, yeah, he don't work here no more. It's our business now, and we're trying to do the best that we can to continue to grow it and retain the customers and continue to make them happy as much as we possibly can. So we're trying to change like the warranty status of the company and stuff. It used to be only 3 months or 9,000 miles or something like that was the warranty that they would give before. But we're trying to get it with a company called TechNet that's part of our program. 3 year, 36,000 mile part warranty, 2 year labor warranty. That's pretty big around there because don't nobody offer that service. So we're trying to offer that service to our customers. So now we're getting involved with a new company that your business basically signs up as part of their program through their vendor, and you can offer your customer a much better warranty than other places do, which makes them want to come back to you versus going to somebody else. But then you also get like the trolls and stuff on here that don't like me. They don't like, my message and stuff like that. And there's a guy on there that left a review that he said something about, oh, Rich said he if he fixed my car it would be this much, but it's doubled in price. So they gave me a 1-star review,
and I know who the guy is. What ended up happening is he dropped off a vehicle that was in an accident and it had been fixed by a body shop. That vehicle has some major electrical problems. And I went through it and I said, before we even start, I don't like the way the connectors look in the door jamb and stuff on this car, any of that. I'm not even going to mess around and haggle with you. You can either say yes, start the work, or no, don't start the work. It's going to be pretty expensive. It's going to be about a 10 or 11 hour labor job. Plus, it's going to be another $500 or $600 in material because I need to put a harness in the dash of this car. I want the harness with the connectors that go down into the sides. I want everything. I don't even want to splice into this harness. I want to replace the harness the right way. So the guy says, go ahead and do it. So I put the harness and everything in, pull the dash, put the harness and everything in. The radio comes back on. You can start to go between the different features and stuff on the radio, but there's still something wrong with the HVAC controls. And they're all grayed out. And I'm like, dude, I don't have like the time for this right now because I don't have like all the appropriate wiring schematics to really look through the circuitry for this HVAC control system. So I'm like, hey man, at this point I've done all the hard work, like the labor intensive work. The dealer has access to all the software and programming and stuff. I don't have access to that. I didn't pay the $2,400 for Ford programming and software and wiring diagrams. So I took it over to Metro Ford, and Metro Ford, um, they have all the diagrams and stuff like that. Their guy got into it and he started looking inside the doors and he said the passenger side doors, uh, for some reason they don't match this car. The harnesses that are in the door are for a non-hybrid vehicle. And so the front and back doors were they replaced? And I said, yeah, it wasn't an accident and it did get struck in the B pillar. So I'm assuming they probably did any work underneath and then just found some white doors that were the same color and stuck them on there and didn't pay attention to the fact that the hybrid door internals are different than the regular fusion doors. And they just stuck those on there and the connectors were the same, but that's it. And they're like, yeah, this is not going to work. Both doors need new harnesses. They need the hybrid module put in it, front and back. Everything's got to be programmed. That's like another 800 ish bucks, man, to get that work done. And I'm thinking, well, we got to do it. I mean, I got called the customer up and I'm like, hey, look, this is where we're at. You bought this car from a body shop that knew it was in an accident. They got it from an auction or something. You're going to have to put these harnesses and computers in these doors, and this is what it's going to cost. Are you willing to do this or not? Oh, yeah, I guess if that's what they're saying and it's going to get my air conditioning, HVAC controls and stuff working, just do it. So I tell it, go ahead and do it. So they put the harnesses and the computers and everything in it, everything working in the car now. HVAC controls, radio, everything. There is a code for an airbag on, but it's a seatbelt pretensioner. So it went from possibly an $1,800 job to a $2,800 job. And the dude's like, oh my God, this is not right or whatever. You just okayed the work. How is it not right? You said go ahead and do it. I laid everything out on the table in front of you, XYZ Barney style, bro. Like everything bold. I just dot, dot, dot. I laid every single thing out for you. And you said yes, 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 yes. And then now that it's done and it's all working, you got a problem with it. So what does he do? He goes online, he gives me a 1-star review. Shoo. uh, all because he made a poor choice of buying a vehicle that was in an accident and it turned around and bit him. You probably missed me talk about a lot of stuff, Bowser. You missed me talk about a bunch. 98 GMC Safari valve cover gaskets. I gotta look. That's probably a little bit of a bear, right? Because it's buried up underneath the cowl. I'd have to look. They didn't. What do you mean BD on the what EcoBoost? Like 17 or 18, they went to dual injection, which was port injection and direct injection in the F-150s, and then the other ones they didn't do that. The Ford 2.0 EcoBoost. Any advice? This would be a 2024 model. My fellow vet. Have Hope you had a good day. Yeah, I had a great day yesterday. Um, I hope you did too. Happy belated Veterans Day. 2.0 EcoBoost so far. I don't know. It's an EcoBoost. Uh, it's I haven't really heard anything bad about the newer EcoBoost, like 2020 and above. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, but you got to make sure you got the right model though, BD, because I think it was like the 17 or 18 3.5. They went to the dual injection, I think. Anyhow, and then in 20, I think a lot of them went to dual injection. Even the regular passenger cars or some of like the SUVs had port and direct injection in the naturally aspirated stuff as well. But I get that kind of stuff on there all the time. So when you look at the Google reviews on the company, you have to ignore a lot of it because it's a lot of people just complaining about stuff that they were actually told. Like any of the new ownership stuff, if somebody's complaining about something that we told them, um, there's a guy on there that complained about my business partner saying that he charged him for something and this a service that he didn't get. But that's not actually what happened. What happened was he came in for a diagnosis and he was like, "Oh, this shop said it was this, this, and this. So can we just get that fixed?" And we're like, "No, we don't operate off somebody else's diagnosis. We want to diagnose the car ourselves. And if they're right, they're right. But I'm not going to go off somebody else's diagnosis. I want to make sure that's correct because that's bit us in the butt too many times." And he said it's $150 diagnostic fee. And the guy says, well, it's already he said, "Look, that's our policy. If you don't want to adhere to our policy while we're trying to help service you, then we can't do business with you." So the guy says, "Go ahead and do it." Well, it happens that the other shop that diagnosed it was right, but we still have to do our job in figuring out if that shop is correct because we're liable for that repair. And he got so mad that the other shop was right, and we still charged him that diagnostic fee anyway because it actually took an hour and a half to do the diagnostic, not an hour like it would normally. The guy was pissed and he gave like a bad review or whatever on it. And I'm like, these people, man, some of these people around here, they just, mm, they're just something to work with. 17 Escape Base 2.5, 6F35. Any guess on the first major failure and at what mileage? Not really. Maybe, yeah, something to do with timing, but that's a pretty stout, pretty reliable engine, like a little mini tank engine. Happy belated Veterans Day to you. Well, good luck, Mark. Oh man, this some of the customers, man, they just make up so much crap, man. You go in there and see all these words and stuff, and I make sure that I'm very diligent when I, yeah, um, exactly, Jared. I'm very diligent whenever I speak to the customers. I'm very polite. I'm very kind to them. I don't ever talk out of pocket. I don't ever disrespect them. Even when they're being disrespectful to me in my new role, I have learned that sometimes you got to eat some shit sometimes. That's just how it is until they get too out of hand. And that's just part of the job. Um, and some customers, they're just grumpy. That's all it is. You have to understand some people come from all different types of walks of life. And if you get down to their personality and you kind of try to understand a little bit about what they're going through, then you'll realize it ain't worth defending yourself on every single disrespect or something like that because it's business sometimes. And I try to be very, very respectful to the customers because they're the ones that make the business happen. But it's kind of one of those things where you can only let something go so far so long before you speak up. So I have spoke up before. I have actually fired customers and I don't like it at all. 7 a.m. to 5, 6 o'clock. I mean, we have 5 on the door, but somebody's there typically until 6 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, the front door closes, but you can go around to the back. Thanks for the gifted membership. I enjoy that. What does that mean? I'm lost. Gifted membership. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, you get certain access to things on this channel when you become a member to this channel. So if anybody would like the special box and like the smiley face and a ribbon or something like that was to ask me for personal help away from here, I'm typically more open to them and helping them just for the simple fact that they have made themselves a family member to the channel and they're not going nowhere. Those are people that are here that typically they believe in me through the good, the bad, and everything else. And I try to stick with it. If they need something from me, they can, without a shadow of a doubt, they get it. So it's kind of one of those things. So if you're wondering, he gifted channel memberships. How do you gift channel membership? I don't know how you do that. Is that something like you can go to somebody, you can click on somebody's name and give them a membership, and then you pay for it? I didn't know you could do that. So what if I wanted to go like, let me see here. I'm gonna make Zach a moderator on the channel. So Zach is now a moderator on the channel. He's always here with us, helping us, talking and stuff like that. So everybody, welcome Zach. How do you made so you made 10 more people members here on the channel? We're gonna make Joey. Joey is obviously a moderator now too. So what does that mean? Does that mean every month you are, or is it just for 1 month? You're on the hook for their channel membership. Randall, moderator. What are you doing, Chica? What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you lifting your leg for me? Are you lifting your leg for the bellies? Look at this guy here. What are you doing? What are you doing? Remember Jax? His family never came and got him. So we adopted him. Okay. Well, we gotta. Yeah, some people, man. Some people are nuts, man. They're just flat out nuts. Um, some of these people here on the channel know you missed it. Um, we had to have the police come over there, Night Rider. We had to have the police come over to the business because there was a dude that kept showing up, and he was like threatening people that he was going to beat people up and he was going to do all this harm to people and stuff. And I ended up having to get a police report on this dude. And then he kept calling and threatening and calling and threatening. And then he did show up and he got a pistol pulled on him and he got walked right out of the shop too. And I stood there with it in front of me until the cops got there, and then I went and put it away. And I said, man, you're not fixing to pull up here, man, and say you're going to start beating people up and doing damage to people and stuff like that and expect to get away from it. That ain't going to happen. You in the wrong area for that. And you messing with the wrong white boy for that. Because I grew up in this area, man. My people, most of my friends are all Hispanic and black. I grew up in this area for a long time. So you think that you're just going to show up here and you're going to pick on some white boy and rough him up a little bit, and that's how it's going to. No, 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 no. And I have a lot of friends here. All I got to do is pick up the phone and be like, hey, man, you want to swing by real quick? I got some problems over here right now. And that's it. That's all we got to do. And I ain't even do that. And it gets to the point in that area. That area sometimes is it can be rough, but it's not the roughest part by any means. It can be though. They were telling me like a right there near you, Knight Rider. They were telling me like a year and a half ago, there was a dude that was parked right in front of the glass shop right there on Archer, and some guy came from around the corner and just start pa 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 pa, start blasting this dude right in his car out of nowhere. Came right around the corner and just lit him up right there in front of the glass place. Like what? They were like, yeah, it's not uncommon. It happens. Right across the street from the business. And then what was it like a couple months ago? Those three dudes. Um, I'm seeing 45 thumbs ups, and it says 35 on. Do you miss the guys at the dealership you worked at? Yeah, I love those guys, man. Even though, I mean, of course, we could be annoyed with each other sometimes, but those were my people, man. All of them, in some way, shape, or form. All of them. Yeah, I miss them. I do. They were good dudes, man. They were really good dudes. They were good guys to learn from. They were good guys to teach. They were good guys to have in your corner. I never want bad blood with other mechanics. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Y'all, I got to get off of here. I got to go get ready. I got to get ready for this cheerleading thing that we got to go to. We ain't got very much time. That's normal. Put some 93 octane in it. The Latino manager. What Latino manager? Refresh my memory. Well, I don't know then. Then you might have carbon buildup on top of the pistons. Might want to try looking at the plugs and how they're gapped too.
I'm not sure which one we're talking about, Jared. The Latino manager that was drinking on the job. Female manager drinking on the job. You're gonna have to refresh my memory. Oh no, that's not. She wasn't a Latino manager. That was a sales girl at the dealership. She was a Latina sales girl that was an OF girl that was trying to screw one of the other salespeople that was there. But her boyfriend that was out in the car in the parking lot had said something along the lines of, "If you want to be with him, you got to be with me first," kind of thing. That's what happened at the dealership. What's up?
Yeah.
We have to leave soon.
Yes.
Yeah, noon, right?
Yes.
What? It took you a while to go drop her off.
I talked to the coaches, and then I stopped by at my mommy's, and my mommy's not coming home.
So
She's ditching Jenna, so I'm a little mad right now.
no, you're not. Grandma does that stuff. Grandma gets a pass. It's us that don't have a pass. Yeah, it doesn't matter though. It's us that don't get a pass. Grandmas and grandpas can do that.
Grandpa wanted.
Well, he is.
Grandpa would be on his deathbed and still show up.
He is.
Grandpa's not on his deathbed,
He is not going to be there.
but he doesn't know about it.
He does know about it.
No, he doesn't.
I bet. Yes, he does know about it.
He doesn't know it was today. If he knew it was today, he would have probably tried to make it. Make sure you take Tylenol or ibuprofen beforehand. Because we're going to do 4 hours of screaming girls.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you live streaming or?
Yeah.
Okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
What are you doing?
I appreciate that, Eric. Where you from, Eric? I ain't never seen you on here, right? Yeah. So what ended up happening was the police and everybody came because the girl ran out in the middle of the street and was pacing back and forth in the middle of the street. And then the police or the fire chief pulled up and was like, "What do you go on the sidewalk? Why are you in the middle of the street pacing back and forth?" And she went on the sidewalk. She looked like she was about to jump out in front of a big semi truck. And then she went out in the middle of traffic and was pacing. And then the police chief came, or fire chief came, told her to go back over on the sidewalk. So she went over on the sidewalk. And then he started asking some questions, kind of trying to figure out what was going on. And then a couple squad cars all came. And then they all walked back towards the dealership. And one of the white dudes that was there, he kind of snuck away from everybody that was all out there part of it. And they ended up taking the Latina in her. He looked like he was like her little brother or something like that. It was kind of disgusting the way he would follow her around like a little maggot attached to some rotten food or something like that. Everywhere she went, he had to be there too. I guess the story is, dude is friends with her fiance, or he's like actually brothers or brother or cousin or something with her fiance, and he was messing around with her behind his back. And at the dealership, she wanted to do an OF video with one of the other crack-headed white salesmen. But in order for her to do that with him, the Latino young boy wanted to be with him first. And it was something along the lines of, to get to her, you gotta sleep with me. And I was like, what type of stuff is going on at a freaking dealership, man? Oh my God, man. Oh my God. Crazy stuff. I appreciate that, Andrew. And also, there was another dealer I knew of down south. They had salesmen at one point. The customers would show up to test drive the cars and look at the different cars. They'd buy drugs out of the back of the cars. It was a sting operation they had, or it was a undercover operation they had going on, where they would sell cars to the public, but they would also have one or two guys in the dealership that would deal drugs out of the back of the brand new cars in the lot. Dundee Ford, out in Dundee, there, where I spent the last, I don't know, 4.5 years of my career with them. And then down south, 2 different dealers down south. I'm not going to say no names because that will give you a hint on what dealers were doing the dirt down south and some of the stories that I talk about. So yeah, we ain't gonna dime them out. But here in Illinois, Dundee Ford off of Route 25 and 72 out there by Santa's Village, by Carpentersville. But they closed down. They're not operational anymore. Okay, I'm jumping off of here. Come see me, Night Rider. I get you hooked up. We'll talk. Make face, shake hands, all that kind of good stuff. Nice to see somebody else running a business in the community. I'm out. Be blessed, guys.